Most people assume that once you cross 60, aging just happens. That your energy will fade, your memory will blur, your sleep will get lighter. It's easy to believe that's just the way things go. But what if I told you that some of the most powerful changes in your senior health begin not with medicine, not with exercise, but with what you eat 1 hour before you sleep? That's right, the food you choose during the quietest time of day. When the world slows down, when the noise fades, can quietly become one of your greatest tools for long-term health. And what's more surprising, it's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. Every senior I've ever spoken to who lives with intention, clarity, and calm in their later years, they all share one trait. They still listen to their bodies. That's elderly wisdom, the kind that doesn't shout but whispers in the background. She's 82 years old, lives alone in Wales, and she swears by a small habit that changed everything for her. See, Florence used to dread nighttime. Her body would feel restless, her thoughts would race, and even when she managed to fall asleep, she'd wake up 2 or 3 times, heart pounding. Her doctor said it was just part of aging, but Florence had always believed in trying the gentle way first. She didn't want sleeping pills, she wanted peace. And so she started drinking 4 ounces of tart cherry juice about an hour before bed. Not much, just a little glass. And here's where the story turns. Within 2 weeks, she was falling asleep faster. Within a month, she stayed asleep through the night. By the 3rd month, her blood pressure readings improved, and her doctor, the same one who suggested sleeping pills, said her resting heart rate had gone down. Now, if that sounds too simple, let me tell you this. Tart cherries are one of the only natural sources of melatonin, the sleep hormone your body stops making as you age. And seniors who lack melatonin don't just sleep worse, they think slower. They recover slower. They live more foggy days than clear ones. Florence didn't change her whole diet. She didn't join a gym. She just made one change, and that change rippled through her body like calm water. That's elderly reflections in action. The kind of quiet choice that tells your body, I'm still listening. And here's the best part, science supports her fully. A published study in the Journal of Medicinal Food showed that older adults who consumed tart cherry juice twice daily gained over an hour of additional sleep per night, with better sleep efficiency. Not because they took a drug, because they nourished a part of themselves that still wanted to thrive. So if you're over 60 and you find yourself staring at the ceiling at night, maybe it's not just age, maybe your body's asking for something, and maybe tart cherry juice is the answer. But Florence isn't the only story I want you to hear. Let me introduce you to Ernest, 76, from Alberta, Canada. A retired mechanic, strong hands, sharper mind. But over the last few years, his nights had turned against him. He'd wake up with cramps in his calves. He said it felt like his body was tightening in the dark. His doctor ran some tests, told him his magnesium levels were low, something extremely common in seniors, and that it might be the reason his nervous system wouldn't settle down at night. That's when Ernest's daughter stepped in. She's a nurse, and she suggested something simple. Eat 10 to 12 almonds, plain and raw, about an hour before bed. No sugar, no chocolate coating, just almonds. Now at first Ernest laughed. You think a nut's gonna fix my legs? But he tried it. And in 3 weeks, the cramps stopped, his heart rate before sleep slowed, he even started dreaming again. Something he said hadn't happened in years. You see, almonds are rich in magnesium, a mineral that's like a master switch for the senior body. It calms the nervous system, helps regulate heart rhythm, and reduces inflammation, all while aiding with deeper, uninterrupted sleep. A senior's body after 60 needs all the help it can get in these quiet functions. And magnesium? It's one of the unsung heroes of elderly health. You don't need supplements, just a handful of almonds. And if you want to boost the effect, pair it with a few sips of cherry juice. The combination supports melatonin and magnesium absorption. But here's the deeper story. What I want you to feel in your gut. Ernest said something that stuck with me. The almonds didn't just help my legs. They gave me back my mornings. That's the insight we often miss. Senior health isn't just about numbers on a chart. It's about how you feel when you open your eyes. Whether your mind is clear, whether your heart feels strong, whether your body is working with you, not against you. And sometimes the most profound shifts don't require more medication. They require more attention. That's what we believe here at Elderly Reflections. That elderly wisdom still matters. That motivation comes not from fear, but from remembering the life you still want to live. That inspiration isn't a quote on a wall. It's a story you carry inside you, waiting to be told. So let me ask you, what are you eating before bed? Are you choosing food that helps your body restore, or are you reaching for whatever's convenient? Because at 60, 70, or 80, your body is still capable. It just needs the right fuel at the right time. Florence found her peace with cherry juice. Ernest found relief with almonds. What could you find if you made one small change tonight? Before we wrap up this first section, I want to know, where are you watching from? Are you in the US, Canada, the UK, somewhere across Europe? Drop it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and tap the bell so you never miss the next insight. Because next we're going even deeper. There are 2 more nighttime foods that might surprise you. One you drink, one you eat. And they've both been used for centuries to protect the 2 most powerful systems in your body, your heart and your mind. Don't miss it. As the evening sets in, most people see it as a time to wind down, to switch off, to prepare for rest. But if you're a senior, especially anyone over 65, those final hours of the day carry much more weight than you might think. This is the time when your heart slows, your brain begins its nightly cleanup, and your body works quietly in the background to repair what the day has worn down. The food you choose before bed is either a tool to support that process or a silent saboteur. Earlier, we talked about the power of tart cherry juice and almonds, small, simple foods that have helped seniors like Florence and Ernest restore their sleep and sharpen their mornings. But we're just getting started, because tonight I want to show you 2 more powerful allies for anyone seeking longevity after 60. One is warm and golden, the other is deep blue and bursting with quiet strength. Together they support the organs that carry your stories, your heart and your brain. Let's start with something ancient, something passed down through generations, whispered between grandmothers and grandchildren, often dismissed in modern times, but now backed by science and respected by doctors. I'm talking about golden milk, also known as turmeric milk. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. Turmeric, isn't that just a spice for curry? That's what 81-year-old Joyce thought too, before she tried it. Joyce lives in the quiet countryside of Devon, England. She was never one for fancy diets or health fads. But in recent years, her joints ached more, her thoughts moved slower, and every night around 8 p.m., she said it felt like a fog rolled in. Her granddaughter Joyce gave it a try. She drank it slowly, each night before bed, while sitting by her old radio listening to classical music. 2 weeks later, she felt a shift. Her sleep became deeper, her mind felt lighter. And one morning, she looked in the mirror and said to herself, "I feel like me again." That was the moment she knew something had changed. So what's happening here? Turmeric contains curcumin, one of the most powerful anti-inflammatory compounds in the natural world. And inflammation, as you may already know, is the silent fire that damages your arteries, dulls your brain, and accelerates aging in seniors. Curcumin doesn't just reduce pain, it helps calm the entire cardiovascular system and even reduces the accumulation of amyloid plaques, which are linked to Alzheimer's. In fact, a study published in the American Journal of Geriatric Psychiatry found that seniors who took curcumin daily for 18 months had significantly improved memory and attention, along with less buildup of those harmful brain proteins. And when turmeric is paired with the fats in milk, whether dairy or plant-based, its absorption skyrockets. That's why this isn't just a bedtime beverage, it's a healing ritual. Let me ask you something. What if you could drink something that made your joints ache less, your heart beat steadier, and your thoughts feel clearer, all while preparing your body for rest? Would you try it? Because this is the kind of elderly wisdom that deserves to be passed down. Not loud, not flashy, just a quiet cup, held between 2 hands, saying to your body, "I still care." Now from something golden, let's move to something blue. Not just any blue. Deep blue. I'm talking about blueberries. You've heard they're healthy, but you might not know just how much they do for the senior brain. In fact, calling them a brain food might be an understatement. Blueberries contain anthocyanins, a group of antigyninins that have been shown to slow brain aging by over 2.5 years. That's not theory, that's from real human trials. These little berries improve blood flow to the brain, support the communication between neurons, and help protect against oxidative stress, one of the key drivers of memory loss and cognitive decline in older adults. But this isn't just about molecules. Let me tell you about Louis. He's 75 from rural Kentucky. A retired mechanic, always good with his hands, fixing things, building things, but one day he walked into his garage and forgot why. Then it happened again. And again. The fear crept in, not just of forgetting tools or tasks, but of forgetting faces. His daughter noticed. She started giving him a small bowl of blueberries every night, not as a treatment, but as a tradition. Louis called it blue thinking fuel. And after 3 months, he wrote her a note. Not an email, but a handwritten letter. It said, "I still forget some things, but I feel present again." That's what we're talking about here. Presence, clarity, the ability to remember your own story and the people who shaped it. Blueberries do more than improve memory. They also support heart health, regulate blood pressure, and reduce the inflammation that damages blood vessels in the brain. And here's a trick. Combine them with Greek yogurt, which we discussed earlier, and you have a nighttime powerhouse of protein, probiotics, and polyphenols. It's not just a snack. It's a message to your body. I'm still investing in you. And what I love most is that none of this requires perfection. You don't need to cook gourmet meals. You don't need to memorize complicated nutrition plans. Just two small choices tonight: a cup of golden milk and a small handful of blueberries. That's it. Not to diet, not to control, but to nourish, to offer your heart and brain a few last gifts before. That's what elderly reflections are really about. The moments when you remember that even now, especially now, your body still wants to heal. Your mind still wants to be sharp. Your life still has chapters left to write. So tonight, as the sky darkens and your house quiets, ask yourself, are you giving your body what it needs to restore? Or are you letting old habits steal your peace without you noticing? Joyce found her peace in golden milk. Louis reclaimed his presence with blueberries. And you? You might be one small decision away from feeling more like yourself again. And that's what we want for you here on Elderly Reflections. Not rules, not guilt, just motivation, inspiration, and the kind of life lessons from the elderly that turn into habits worth keeping. If this message speaks to you, I want to hear your voice. Drop a comment below and tell me where you're watching from. Europe, the US, Canada, somewhere else entirely. Every story adds depth to this community. And if you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell, because in the next section, we're going to pull everything together. You'll discover the final two foods, one leafy, one creamy, and how they complete this powerful bedtime ritual for longevity after 60. Don't miss it. There's something sacred about the stillness that arrives in the evening, especially as we age. The phone stops ringing, the emails stop coming, and for a few quiet hours, it's just you, your thoughts, and the soft rhythm of your own breath. But if you've watched the previous sections, you already know, these quiet hours aren't just about rest. They're about repair. They're about giving your body the tools it needs to heal from the day and prepare for tomorrow. We've already talked about the power of tart cherry juice, almonds, golden milk, and blueberries. 4 simple foods that support brain clarity, reduce inflammation, and protect the heart. But we're not finished yet, because tonight, in this final chapter, we're going to complete the circle. 2 more foods, one green, one creamy, round out this nighttime ritual that seniors across Europe and North America are quietly embracing for better sleep, sharper minds, and longer lives. So let's begin. I want to take you to a place you might not expect: salad bowl, or more specifically, a handful of baby spinach. Now, I know the idea of eating greens before bed sounds unusual, maybe even unappealing. After all, who eats salad at night? But let me share something most people over 65 don't know. Magnesium, one of the most critical minerals for heart health and sleep quality, is absorbed best in the evening. And spinach? It's one of the richest natural sources of magnesium you can eat. It also contains natural nitrates, which help open your blood vessels and improve circulation, reducing the strain on your heart while you sleep. When your body enters deep rest, it begins cellular repair, hormone balancing, and memory consolidation. But all of that takes energy and proper blood flow. Spinach helps with both. Now meet Maria. She's 69, originally from Seville, Spain, now living in Arizona. She used to dread her doctor visits. Her blood pressure was climbing, her sleep was shallow, and her motivation had faded. Her doctor mentioned medication, but Maria asked if she could try one last thing. So each night, she began making a small, simple salad. She called it her green peace. It wasn't a diet, it wasn't a punishment, it was an act of love. And in 4 months, her blood pressure normalized. Her doctor was stunned, but Maria wasn't, because elderly wisdom teaches us that food isn't just fuel, it's communication. It's a quiet message to your body. And that brings us to our final food tonight, one that's often overlooked, yet incredibly powerful. Not a superfood in the trendy sense, but a foundational one. One that heals the gut, supports immunity, and nurtures the mind. I'm talking about plain full-fat Greek yogurt. Not the sugary kind. Not the kind with sprinkles or candy on top. Just the real thick, creamy yogurt our grandparents used to make. Here's why it matters. Greek yogurt contains casein protein, which digests slowly and feeds your muscles throughout the night. That's essential for seniors trying to preserve lean mass and prevent the slow wasting that comes with age. It's also rich in calcium, which helps your body produce melatonin naturally, the sleep hormone that fades as we age. And then there's the gut-brain connection. The probiotics in yogurt support a healthy microbiome, which in turn regulates inflammation, mood, and cognitive clarity. In simple terms, a healthy gut equals a happier, clearer mind. Robert knows this well. He's 79, a retired firefighter from Michigan. Big heart, strong handshake, but in recent years he started waking up stiff, foggy, and just off. His daughter, a nutritionist, gave him a bedtime formula: half a cup of Greek yogurt, a drizzle of honey, and a few crushed walnuts. It became his evening ritual. Within weeks, his digestion improved, his energy rose, and most surprisingly, he said he started dreaming again. He told me, "I didn't realize how long I'd gone without remembering my dreams. I feel like my mind is coming back." That's the kind of reflection we hold on to. That's what elderly motivation looks like. It's not about chasing youth, it's about returning to clarity, to self, to presence. So tonight, as we bring this journey to a close, I want you to imagine a tray by your bedside. On it, a small bowl of Greek yogurt with honey, a few blueberries, a slice of kiwi or a handful of almonds, maybe a cup of golden milk warm in your hands. Nothing overwhelming, nothing extreme, just quiet choices made with love. Because here's the truth: longevity after 60 isn't built in clinics. It's built in kitchen and quiet habits. In the life lessons from the elderly that teach us, the body listens when you speak gently. Let's recap what we've learned. Tart cherry juice for melatonin and heart rhythm. Almonds for magnesium and muscle relaxation. Golden milk for deep anti-inflammatory support. Blueberries for brain health and memory. Spinach for blood pressure and nitric oxide. And Greek yogurt for protein, calcium, and gut health. 6 simple choices, 1 powerful shift. You don't need to do them all at once. Start with 1, build a habit, then add another. And remember, it's not about perfection. It's about consistency, intention, reflection. And before we end, I want to speak directly to you, the one watching this late at night, searching for answers, wondering if it's too late to change. It's not. You are still here, you are still in control, and the choices you make tonight could shape how you wake up tomorrow. So I'll ask you again, what are you eating before bed? Are you helping your heart heal? Are you feeding your brain what it needs to remember who you are? If this message has spoken to you, let's stay connected. Like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and hit the bell so you don't miss what comes next. We have more stories, more insights, more reflections ahead, and I want to hear yours. Tell me in the comments, where are you watching from? What habits are you trying? What lessons from your life have brought you here? Because here, we don't believe aging is a decline. We believe it's a return to wisdom, to self-respect, to presence. And no matter your age, 65, 75, 85, you still have chapters left to write. Let's write them with strength, with peace, and with intention. Here's to your heart, here's to your brain, and here's to the quiet, beautiful choices that keep you alive in all the ways that count.